Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. Today, I'm going to talk about something that everybody complains about, but everybody asks about and talks about, and that is fuel economy in the Toyota Tacoma. You know, these days, we have all these seemingly hyper-miler trucks coming out, and the Toyota Tacoma has been left in the dust, sitting at the gas station, fueling up. And it's true, the Toyota Tacoma does not get awesome gas mileage. You know, there are a few things that you can do, however. Now, right now, I'm out, I'm cruising around, I just left the gas station. So I should get a good read for moderate driving once it levels off and tells me where I'm at. You know, when I first left the gas station, it told me I was getting 7 miles per gallon. Well, that's because I was sitting in traffic because of some kind of road work or something. So that's obviously not accurate. So I've been driving around for a little bit, and we are about where I typically stay, and driving of about 35 to 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, something like that. And that is right around 15.2, 15.6 miles per gallon. It's horrible. It really is horrible. Now, a couple caveats to that. Obviously, the truck is modified. I have bigger, heavier tires. That does not help. It's like carrying around a load all the time and then expecting to get better gas mileage, right? Well, you're not gonna. It's definitely gonna detract from your fuel economy. Now, I've added other things to this truck. And you know, every pound, every ounce that you add to the nth degree is gonna reduce fuel economy. You know, I've got a sport bar on the back. That's right about 100 pounds, something like that. I've got a bed mat in the back. You know, that adds, I think that's about 50 pounds or so. Various other things that I've added to the truck, the heavier bumper on the front. I mean, all these things add up, and each one of them takes a little bite out of that fuel economy pie, right? Now, let's talk about ways to improve it a little bit. First of all, don't do anything. Keep it stock. I mean, they rate these trucks, albeit in perfect conditions, because they want to report numbers that are the best possible that you can get. And speaking of that, you know, everybody complains about the stated mileage on the sticker, the Maroney sticker, that is never met. It's always higher than what you can get in reality. And that's because you're not driving around in perfect conditions. You know, we drive in the real world. There's wind, which I get a lot of down here in South Texas. There are hills, which I don't get a lot of down here in South Texas. I actually am in the RGV, the Rio Grande Valley, and it's flat. I mean, flat everywhere. If you've seen some of my previous videos where I'm filming as I'm driving, and you might be able to see even now, it's flat as far as the eye can see. We don't have any hills. But definitely, if you live in an area that's hilly or mountainous, your gas mileage is going to suffer, except for when you're going downhill. So maybe it evens out if you go up and down a lot, you know? I mentioned wind. We get a lot of wind. Obviously, anything that's pushing against the truck or you're driving into is going to make it require more effort to go forward, right? It's going to burn more gas. Some of the mods that you do, I have an exhaust on the truck. It doesn't really give me any better fuel economy. It gives me more sound. And I think there's a misconception out there that if you put an exhaust on that's less restrictive, it's going to improve fuel economy. Well, it's a cat back, so it's already restricted until it gets through the catalytic converter. I mean, yeah, it might reduce the amount of push, if you will, to get that exhaust out of the truck, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Nothing that I've seen. Cold air intakes, that's one for argument, I guess. I have people report to me that they're getting way better fuel economy with the cold air intake. It's yet to be seen on the one I have in this truck. I just put a K&N in an intake a little while back. We'll see. Which, by the way, full disclosure, right now I'm showing 18.3 miles per gallon. I wish that was right. It's really due, I think, to being out here driving around at higher speeds, steady speeds. I mean, right now I'm traveling at 50 mile an hour. And, you know, somewhere between 50 and 65 with the wind at your back, which it has been since I left the gas station, pretty much, is going to give you better fuel economy. I'm up to 18.6 now. Who knows? Maybe the cold air intake or the intake that I put on recently is going to make a big difference. We shall see. I'll report that going forward. But tire pressure, that's another thing to talk about. You know, right now, let me flip the screen here. And my tires are warm, probably hot. I've been driving around for a while, but not freeway speeds. But they are warm. I'm running 40, 39, 39, and 39. Rather high. You know, I like to run about 36, 37, so I'm a bit higher than where I like to be. But the higher you can go in tire pressure, to a certain extent, the better your fuel economy is going to be. Now, there are some sacrifices in doing that. Obviously, ride quality. You know, having a harder, firmer tire to ride around on is going to give you a harder, firmer, less comfortable ride. But you're going to get better gas mileage. The other downside is if you go too far, you're going to have some wear on that tire. In other words, if you overinflate them so they're like a balloon, you're going to be riding on the wrong part of the tires, and you're going to notice more wear if you do that. So there is a trade-off. You know, if you have to buy new tires because you're running them so high to save on gas, how much does that really save you in the end once you shell out the money for those new tires, especially if you're running a more expensive off-road or hybrid type tire, as I am on my truck. Now, for me, as I mentioned, I know it is a truck. I fully expected it to get really crappy fuel economy, so it's not a big surprise for me. By the way, I have started to drop a little bit. Now I'm at 18.4. Remember, I got to 18.6. Again, typically I run about 15.2 to 15.6, something like that for my style of driving. And that's another thing. Avoid the stops and starts. Don't nail the pedal every time you take off from a stop, particularly if you're driving through a city or something and you're doing the old jackrabbit to every stoplight you get. Obviously, that's going to give you worse fuel economy. The last thing that I'll mention to improve it, the pedal commander. You know, I'm running the pedal commander for different reasons. I'm running it because I want the truck to be quicker. I want the throttle lag eliminated, which it does. However, there is an economy mode, it's called Eco mode, that you can select on the truck to get better fuel economy. Now, you're gonna lose what I'll call performance. In other words, I wanna go quick, but if fuel economy is paramount to you, why not? Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of run over that a little bit. I continuously get questions on the channel or comments about fuel economy, how horrible it is. And you're right, it is. It sucks. But there's just a few ways that you can try to improve it a little bit, save a little money at the pump. Leave a comment, let me know. Were you shocked after you got your Toyota Tacoma and discovered what it really gets when it comes to fuel economy? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Mod Driven, all about the Honda Civic, and RobMotive JT, all about the equally thirsty Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.